I truly did love you, darling. And love you to death, I did. But that isn't going to stop me from moving forward. After all, you should have known that my love was more alluring and deadly to all men who pursued it. You were a detective, right? All of these cocktails and wild nights tend to cloud a woman's mind. Maybe this detailed document you made of me might help jog my memory. If talk of murder won't sober me up, then nothing will. So let's take a walk down memory lane and see where everything took a twist. Oh, it seems everything in here is lined in red. Lists of people that were crossed out as you couldn't seem to bring up any leads. Oh, it's such a shame, too. I would have loved to have met some of these gorgeous women myself, so I'd have the pleasure of choking the life out of them myself. But that would have been too simple now, wouldn't it? You were thorough in your search for me, I'll give you that. And as soon as a person was deemed unguilty by your matters of judgment, they are marked clean off this list. It's too bad. I love turning my new toys red, but I guess I'll never get to meet them now that the one man who could lead me to them is gone. At least I got to play for a while with Tom before I put a bite and then a bullet in his brain. He was the best deputy you had and the best chance you had at ever stopping me. If only he listened to me. I went under the perfect cover. Law attorney focused on dealing with homicide cases. I promised that I would work with you and slowly worked my way into earning your trust. Like a moth drawn to the flame, you were drawn to me for my beauty. There was no denying the flame in your eyes and the lust in your heart. You were blinded by my good looks and the heat of passion. You forgot all about your most important rule of investigation. Never let personal goals interfere with your work. I became a sexual conquest that you wanted to overcome and fell directly into my trap. Poor Tom, he only meant well, and you just didn't listen to him. And to your better reason. I must say, you were a loyal hound dog if I've ever met one, and Tom was more than a fun toy to play with while he lasted. The lashings, the beatings, his supple flesh that gave way to reveal the crimson gift of life itself, all of those things Tom was able to give to me. I've come to expect this from all my toys, but you were different. You actually thought you had a chance of winning me over? And now you forever slump over your desk, gun in hand, after pulling the trigger. Remain as a sign of what comes from short-sighted passion. You couldn't handle the truth, so you ended your own life. I don't understand why this was such a shock to you. I mean, everything that was proved I was the killer was laid out right in front of you. All of the suspects I was able to find were killed and drained before you could even find them. The only thing that linked the murders together, aside from them all having few family members to grieve over their loss, was a beautiful crimson red kiss mark on their necks after they have been brutally stabbed and shot. Any good detective would have put two and two together when I even revealed that I owned a revolver and had once dropped my lipstick. I thought I had been found out that day. My lipstick fell out of my purse. But you gave no second thought. Even as I look at the evidence files you had in my case, you still couldn't manage to capture the infamous Crimson Killer. You tried changing the name to Crimson Huntress as the mark I left on my victims became more frequent. It's such a shame you never got closer. I was going to make it such a big show, have your wife dangling from a rope for her very life above a clock tower. I'd wait for the large clock hand to strike 12, and then sever her rope, and watch her plummet into a pile of spare blades and old sharp tools from a local blacksmith. Ha! But you were never clever enough to get there. You let your marriage fall apart when your wife caught you steal a kiss from me and left you. And like the poor, worthless man you were, you sank into a bottle of liquor you weren't allowed to consume. You were so pathetic. At least the blood in Tom ran hot when we fought, and I ended his life by biting into his neck and drinking up his hot, steaming blood. The bullet to the brain was just for fun and to make sure that none of my victims could kiss and tell. He fought hard, but the Crimson Killer always leaves her mark, and she never misses. Tom was more fun in a fight and in death than you. You were nothing more than food to me. Just another meal I managed to scrape up. All that fire and passion you had for me burned out the day you realized I was meant for someone else in your life. It's no wonder you lost, though. You may have solved more cases than any detective in this town, but you still couldn't beat me. You promised your people you'd stop my onslaught, and here you are, just another spare pig who stuck his nose in my business. Your blood was decent, but I'm always tasting something sour, something that made me almost regret killing you. The flavor of regret and self-loathing permitted your blood even on your dying breaths. I honestly felt like wanting to take a shower after I drank your blood. But food is food, and a proper lady never lets a proper meal go to waste. Such a shame that our dance had to come to a close, my darling. Maybe in another life we'll have this dance again, and you can try your best to beat me again. But until then, this huntress needs to find her next kill, and I've got a feeling that it's gonna be one hell of a feast.